Suddenly, after millions of people had come to love him during his prime, he disappeared. Why would one of the funniest men who has ever lived leave a show that he was instrumental in making a tradition? Keep watching as we uncover the truth about Jon Stewart's unexpected departure from The Daily Show and what he did afterward. Sure, you've certainly heard that Jon Stewart popularized The Daily Show if you're here. Apart from being a humorist, he had other talents as well. He was the host for 16 years. He turned humor into a political force and helped millions of people comprehend complex topics in an amusing and easy way. What transpired then? He may be most known for his comedic roles, but there has always been a serious side to Stewart. While hosting The Daily Show, he became an outspoken advocate for causes close to his heart, including veterans' rights. Outside of a comedy show, he began to think he might make a bigger impact on these topics. Even after he stepped down, Stewart remained a powerful voice for these causes, making appearances before Congress. Have had such a fruitful transition in my professional life. He left for what reason? How did it all begin? Let's find out. Jon Stewart was born Jonathan Stewart Leibowitz to Jewish parents in Lawrenceville, New Jersey on November 28, 1962, in New York City. His sharp wit and insightful analysis were born out of his carefree childhood, which was full of adventures, humor, and intellectual curiosity. Marion Leibowitz was an educator and consultant, while Donald Leibowitz was a physics professor and Stewart's father was a school teacher. His parents' divorce was a difficult and formative event in his life, he adds, occurring when he was 11 years old. Stewart regularly turned to humor as a means of coping with the racist bullying he endured as a child, a talent he would hone to a national level. While attending Lawrence High School, Stewart excelled academically and athletically, particularly on the soccer field. Stewart may have been an exceptional student, but he found more success addressing societal and personal issues through satire and comedy. The unique blend of sarcasm, irony, and self-deprecation that characterized his comedic style originated from his early attempts to cope and hide behind humor. Stewart attended Virginia's College of William Mary after finishing high school. He switched his degree from chemistry to psychology after quickly losing interest. Even though he had his degree, he couldn't find a permanent job in the field of psychology. On the contrary, he attributes much of his perspective and sense of humor to his time as an undergraduate. After acting in a few plays while in college, he developed a taste for comedic roles. Among his many temporary jobs after college were those of bartender, puppeteer for disabled children, and contract manager for City University of New York. In 1986, Stewart decided to follow his comedic goals professionally and immersed himself in New York City's flourishing stand-up comedy culture. He then returned to the city. He desired a more simple stage name and was still self-conscious about his Jewish background, so he discarded the Leibowitz surname and became known as Jon Stewart. Stewart worked late-night engagements and performed in tiny venues for years, going through the same challenges as many budding comedians. Cultural insights, personal experiences, and dry humor were the basis of his early routines, which began to pique the interest of New York comedic circles. The eventual result was a triumph for Stewart's expertise and perseverance. In the early 2000s, he started to gain fame after appearing on stand-up comedy shows such as Caroline's Comedy Hour and The Comedy Strip. His breakthrough came in 1993 when he was hired by MTV to host The Jon Stewart Show. Since it was one of MTV's first forays into the chat show genre, this late-night program quickly became a cult classic. The Jon Stewart Show attracted a younger demographic thanks to its endearing everyman charm and Stewart's sincere, laid-back style of comedy. The show may have only lasted 2 seasons, but it solidified Stewart's position in the entertainment industry and showcased his unique voice, which held great potential. During this period, Stewart was also a frequent guest on late-night television shows, most famously taking over for Tom Snyder on Late Show. His charisma and sense of humor made him an ideal choice for guest hosting gigs, and he began appearing on famous shows like Late Night with David Letterman. Letterman, who Stewart looked up to, took an interest in him and provided him with invaluable career coaching and advice. Stewart freely admits that Letterman was a major influence on his sense of humor. notably for his use of irony in conjunction with genuine curiosity and introspection. Hollywood took notice of Stewart after his TV success and gave him opportunities to try his hand at acting and writing. He has been in several films and TV shows, including Mixed Nuts 1994 and Playing by Heart 1998. Despite his acting endeavors, he found greater success in the comedy and television industries. Stewart has often poked fun at his brief stint in Hollywood, saying that he quickly realized his talents were more suited for hosting and comedy than for traditional acting. In 1999, Stewart received an unprecedented opportunity when Craig Kilborn extended an invitation for him to host The Daily Show. Following its first success, the show was looking for a fresh outlook and a different approach. As soon as Stewart accepted the offer, he began to personalize the show. By delving into issues that resonated with politically aware youth, Stewart infused The Daily Show with a more political tone, elevating it above simply parody of news show structure. Political figures, news outlets, and cultural hypocrisy were the targets of Stewart's scathing and often caustic critiques during her tenure as host of The Daily Show. His writing staff, which included Stephen Colbert, Samantha Bee, and John Oliver, among others, turned the show into a satirical behemoth throughout pivotal moments such as the 2008 financial crisis, the Iraq War, the 2000 U.S. presidential election, and the September 11th attacks. Since Stewart never minced words while discussing these issues, he gained a legion of loyal fans. As well as The Daily Show became a major cultural force that affected the way several Americans viewed political coverage in the media. When other comedy shows skirted the edges of complex issues, Stewart would interview prominent politicians, journalists, and campaigners to go further. Additionally, his sense of humor was marked by an honest mix of cynicism and genuineness. His credibility as a go-to guy for young people looking for engaging and thought-provoking news stories grew over time. There, Stewart became a household name, and The Daily Show won a slew of awards, including several Emmys. During these years, Stewart had an impact that went beyond the entertainment industry. He revolutionized political satire in the United States and brought a new level of credibility to satirical news forms. Stewart's 2004 appearance on CNN's Crossfire led to the show's cancellation after he criticized the show's biased tone, as well as his commitment to upholding journalistic ethics and responsibility. Take 2015 as an example. Stewart voluntarily stepped down as host of the daytime program. Jon has been a weekly fixture, appearing on air 4 times. Despite appearances, it was a really difficult profession. He started to feel fatigued after devoting hours to research, writing the script, and filming. On occasion, Stewart admitted that he felt like he was completely depleted. After all, he was doing double duty as a news anchor and journalist, incorporating humor into his performance. It had a profoundly detrimental effect on him for 16 years. He talked about feeling burned out from supervising the creation of hundreds of episodes and the grueling 4-day-a-week schedule for The Daily Show, as well as his desire to focus on other pursuits. It was a jam-packed timetable that required constant preparation, fresh content production, and news monitoring. Stewart said that the pattern was beginning to affect him. "I was just so exhausted," he told The Guardian frankly. "A distraction, it appeared. I feel like I put too much stock in it emotionally." Stewart's intense devotion to the show may have contributed to his burnout. The constancy and high quality of The Daily Show were paramount to Stewart, who was known for his extreme attention to detail. He had long been an outspoken critic of American politics after covering both the Bush and Obama administrations. Also, Stewart was sick of talking about the same old things. The repetitive themes of sensationalism, shifting blame, and fury, he said, had grown old in the American political and media landscapes. Notably, he made the comment that he was sick of being furious as he departed. This was a shocking admission that hinted at the mental toll that dealing with harsh political realities on a daily basis had on him. Stewart was reaching a point where, despite his dedication, his work appeared less like an exciting challenge and more like a burdensome obligation. Returning to television, he hosts in-depth debates on political and social issues on Apple TV's The Problem with Jon Stewart. A relentless dedication to the truth, curiosity, and perseverance defined Jon Stewart's early life and career. After overcoming childhood bullying in New Jersey, performing stand-up comedy in NYC, and finally becoming a household name on The Daily Show, Stewart has risen to become a legendary figure in American satire. He has left an indelible mark on political discourse and television with his unique brand of comedy, which blends wit with empathy and analysis. A sea change occurred in American politics while Jon was alive. Upon his arrival, the show's comedic takedowns of the government and media became standard fare. However, as the political climate became increasingly divisive, the show began to address more weighty and emotionally charged topics. Stewart claims that there were times when the gravity of the situation appeared to eclipse the humor. Also, with the rise of social media came the rapid spread of misinformation, which made it much more challenging for him and his team to cover all the ground they needed to. Another motivating factor in Stewart's departure was his long-standing discontent with mainstream media. One of the most lasting legacies of The Daily Show is its relentless criticism of American media, especially cable news networks. Stewart regularly criticized CNN, Fox News, and MSNBC for what he saw as sensationalist reporting, a lack of context, and the influence of financial interests on their work. The media's role in spreading hate speech, dividing communities, and failing to uphold their democratic responsibilities disheartened him. Most notably, he disdained the media during his appearance on CNN's Crossfire in 2004, where he infamously accused the hosts of harming America by prioritizing superficial arguments over substantive debate. As his show, The Daily Show, progressed, Stewart's frustration with the media grew, and he began to criticize the media's flaws more and more harshly. This growing dissatisfaction with the media wasn't just a fad, according to Stewart. It was more of a severe, long-term concern. He thought things had only gotten worse with time, despite his hopes that more accountable journalism would emerge. It seems he would never be able to make a difference in the industry he had railed against for so long. Furthermore, his resignation served as a subtle admission of his authority's limitations. Although this was one of the reasons he departed, his resignation is still being driven by a significant and crucial cause. We should look into it. Another thing about Jon Stewart is his devotion to his family. Stewart stays out of the limelight to focus on his family and lead a low-key existence with his wife and children. His personal life, including his relationships, remains under wraps, despite the widespread interest in his comedic profession. Since tying the knot with Tracy McShane, Stewart has devoted most of his life to starting a family. Stewart met animal rights activist and veterinary technician Tracy McShane on a blind date in 1995. They hit it off immediately after being introduced by a mutual acquaintance. Because of her kindness and commitment to helping animals, Stewart was captivated by Tracy. Contrarily, Jon's humor and wit were appreciated by Tracy. They were able to work together effectively because they respected one another, had a strong relationship, and shared values. Stewart asked Tracy to be his wife after they had been dating for 4 years in an unconventional but unforgettable fashion. Would you be my spouse? This is the final answer to a relationship-themed crossword puzzle he had created for the New York Times. They were married in the year 2000 after Tracy's natural acceptance. In their marriage, respect, shared values, and a desire to make a positive impact on the world have always taken center stage. Nathan Thomas, a son, was born to the couple in 2004. They waited 2 years before having a daughter, Maggie Rose, who was born in 2006. Being a parent became Stewart's new priority. His children had a profound impact on his outlook on life, which he often shared on The Daily Show. As a calming counterpoint to his hard work, his family life provided balance and humility, and he constantly thanked them. Stewart and McShane's devotion to animals is another cornerstone of their family life. They established the New Jersey farm Refuge Hockhocks Farm Foundation in 2015 as passionate advocates for animal rights. The sanctuary provides a safe haven for abused and abandoned farm animals, reflecting their common commitment to animal care and environmental preservation. Because it is a family project, the Refuge has helped instill compassion and responsibility in the children of the owners, who also help out with the animals' daily care. Regardless of his fame, Stewart has always prioritized his family. After leaving The Daily Show in 2015, he stepped away from the limelight to be with Tracy and their children more. Stewart said in interviews that he wanted to be there for his kids as they got older, so he opted to step away from the show. This family-first perspective informs his approach to balancing work and personal life. Their relationship and family life exemplify Jon Stewart's profound commitment to comedy, compassion, and a desire to make the world a better place. Since Stewart's family has always been the foundation of his views and actions, whether in his job, parenting, or animal conservation, his personal life stands as a testament to love, devotion, and a single objective. For years, his regimen had been severe. When he got home from saying goodbye to his kids in the morning, they were usually already asleep. After quitting The Daily Show, being a spouse and father became more of a priority. It was clear that he longed for a more relaxed way of life, one in which he could relax, spend time with his loved ones, and maybe even explore his artistic side. Jon Stewart's character is always changing. Thus, he left The Daily Show in part because he was looking for new creative challenges. He was eager to do new things and explore different aspects of his career after being there for 16 years. Stewart expressed his desire to pursue projects that would allow him to forge new relationships with viewers and explore different storytelling styles in interviews given after his departure. An important documentary covering an Iranian journalist's incarceration. In 2014, he directed Rosewater, a film that demonstrated his ambition to explore narrative forms beyond comedy and into more varied and emotional realms. Stewart also expressed a desire to spend more time with his loved ones. He lamented the fact that the hectic schedule of The Daily Show left him with little time for his personal life and expressed a desire to be more accessible to his family. Without Stewart, how will The Daily Show continue? We'll have to see. Both American political comedy and The Daily Show underwent a dramatic shift when Jon Stewart left the show. You can't put a price on his influence on American politics and television. His groundbreaking work in developing satirical news greatly influenced subsequent late-night news formats, including The Colbert Report, Full Frontal with Samantha Bee, and Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. Stewart has left an indelible mark on American society with her brand of humor, which is informed and fearless in its confrontation with the powerful. Jon Stewart ultimately decided to step down from his position at The Daily Show because he felt he had given his all. Fatigue, discontent with the political climate and the media, a need for new creative outlets, a commitment to his private life, and a desire to prioritize his family all played a role in his decision. He freely acknowledged that the show had turned into an unhealthy connection. While Stewart's departure did close a remarkable chapter in television history, his impact as a trailblazer of political humor remains felt today. The works of those he influenced and the evolution of political commentary on television are evidence of his impact. But he clearly hasn't given up on making things better. In your opinion, how has Jon's departure affected The Daily Show?